Last time on Almost Heroes.
Here we go. Getting into Rockdale, no thanks to Baldur's reputation, the heroes take a small tour of the city before heading to the Fit Inn to have an ale and enjoy the local watering hole. Baldur the Bountiful again puts his reputation to the test with the grounds innkeeper Reynolds. After the heroes are a few ales in and putting Baldur's self-esteem and alcohol tolerance to the test, the group turns it up a tad when Glyn gets the group doing shots of the barkeeper's beverage, Wizard Whiskey. Rangrim is the first to find his limit, accidentally upchucking all of his drinks onto the pristine chest armor of a tall figure when trying to run outside. The figure then attempts to clobber Rangrim to death. Cosmo heroically redirects his angst by starting a good old-fashioned bar fight as he dwarf dives onto the group table next to him, causing the whole tavern to erupt in a drunken brawl. Glyn quickly helps Baldur find safety, while Cosmo gets bodily thrown over the edge of the bar, finding Reynolds unconscious, aiding him quickly before diving out onto the back of the companion of the tall figure. Rangrim joins the brawl by sweeping her legs out with a rolling keg attack. A caster goblin then tries to calm the brawl. Glyn, he casts blind on him to disorient and allow the brawl to continue. Instead, the goblin escalates the situation by throwing a rogue fireball into the room, causing the tavern and its bystanders to erupt in flames. Everyone evacuates the building as Glyn, using his final water bead to extinguish much of the fire, combined with the help of the goblin, who used their wand to finish off the fire. Cosmo runs back into the tavern, searching for Reynolds, finding him unconscious out back. Reynolds comes to only to pass out after seeing what's left of his inn. Before Cosmo can react, guards attempt to take him into custody, suspecting he is the cause. And that is where we left off.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Bobby. That brings us to episode 39, Bountiful and Bizarre. We pick up with our almost heroes having just been part of a massive bar brawl inside of the Fighter's Pit Tavern, culminating in a fireball that burned down half the building and nearly killing the friendly half-orc owner Reynolds. As Cosmo went to check Reynolds' well-being, he was surrounded by Rockdale guards. "Don't move! You were under arrest by the city of Rockdale."
Oh, we're there. Okay, great. I was like, all right, here we go.
We're in it. We're in media res. We're doing this.
Right. Cosmo, I imagine, down on one knee, is kind of holding Reynolds, and he's just like, "Oh, well, I was just helping my friend who got blown by the fire."
So you can feel at least three pointy weapons in your back. Are you turning around to look, or are you just kind of staying there?
I think I'm just kind of turning my head towards them and just talking. He's just like, I didn't do anything. I don't know why you got daggers and sharp things in me back.
You need to just stay where you are. Don't make any sudden movements. Reynolds, and he's trying to rouse Reynolds, and Reynolds is still super passed out, kind of just on the ground. And you hear this kind of a gruff voice, which when you turn around, you see there are at least three figures behind you, and one of them seems to be much, much taller. Like the kind of the kneecaps of this figure behind you is probably at about the waist height of some of the other figures. And that's the one who seems to be speaking. And you hear them say, "Cuff him, put him in shackles."
Well, wait a minute. I didn't do anything.
Are you resisting? You feel two arms grab you, two sets of arms, actually. One grab each of your arms and is trying to put shackles on you.
Why are you arresting me? You have no cause.
You can make your story plain once you get back to the guardhouse. We need to get Reynolds' story. Look at this, and he's pointing up at the you can assume he's pointing up at the very much smoldering half a tavern that is still left.
Cosmo was still down, and then so what he does real quick is he actually just you'll see a glow from his hands, I imagine, as he pumps another 15 points of HP into Reynolds.
Okay. So roll me a medicine check on top of that.
Sure. Medicine, it's a 12.
Okay. I think that's enough. You see Reynolds kind of start moving on the ground, but they're not like. So I'll say that you're able to like just kind of like grab Reynolds' foot for a sec, because lay on hands you have to touch them. So you grab their foot for like a second, and then you feel your arm getting pulled back behind you, and you feel unless you're resisting, they're gonna snap those shackles shut on you.
Yeah, I'm resisting.
Okay, roll me a strength check. We're gonna contest that.
It's a 19. Is it
Okay.
a check or a saving throw?
It would probably be just a straight up and down strength check.
Okay, yeah, same then.
Just contesting their strength. Both of them, you feel them start pulling your arms together and trying to clamp these shackles. One of them is able to clamp a shackle on one arm, and you're able to pull the other arm away from the figure behind you. They don't seem to have been as strong as the other figure. And so you're able to kind of like pull one of your arms free. And as you do that and lift your arm up, you can feel it, like people kind of starting to rush in on you. Like you can just your fighter sense is like there are a bunch of people are trying to reach down on you, and then you hear a familiar voice kind of from behind you go, "Now let's just wait a moment. Grawl, come on. We don't need to be doing these kinds of. This is a friend of mine. We don't." And you can hear the blustering form of Baldur coming up from behind you.
Very drunk Baldur.
Yeah, very drunk Baldur, who is blustering his way, and you can hear them like kind of walking up, and kind of you can tell that they're kind of staggering a little bit as they're walking after all the wizard whiskey, and you can all the figures kind of seem to stop. They don't charge you, and they're kind of turning to look, and you hear that gruff voice, Baldur, what? All right, you got to explain this to me. What is, how is it, how do you know, what is going on here?
Well, he's my patron, or Boulder. He's my patron.
All right, listen. Okay. Let's just take a step back here.
That's what I was trying to do.
I listen, Baldur. I trust you. Are you staggering? How much have you had? Anyway, whatever. Listen. Okay. What is going on here? And he's talking to you, Cosmo.
Oh, okay. Well, we was in the tavern, and me, Boulder, and some friends were having some drinks, and my one friend, he suddenly became like he was going to be sick, and he got up to run outside, and right as he was about to get out the door, a really tall figure, shiny armor, I don't know if he got in his way, I didn't see it, and my friend accidentally threw up on him, and so he punched him, and then all of a sudden a bar fight started, and then all of a sudden there was fire. It happened so fast.
Roll me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Persuasion check with disadvantage. Okay. I can do that.
I know you're a charismatic young man. So.
I sure am. Okay. Yes. It's a 22.
With disadvantage?
I rolled.
Oh my lord.
I rolled really well both times, and my plus is a +7.
So I'll say that this is where kind of you're going to get helped out here. So that's an amazing roll. So anyway, as you're speaking, Baldur kind of cuts you off, slurring his words a little bit. Listen, Grohl. I know that I know that we go way back. You watched me in the arena. We go way back. You can for sure. You can certainly let us. I understand that. Look, Baldur he kind of walks up to you and kind of like pulls on your face and is like, "Look, does this look like the face of a felon? You don't need to take him in." Grawl kind of, who you can now see like kind of turning around, is a very large Goliath who is wearing this like armor that you can probably certainly tell had to be specially made. Everything that this person is wearing, and they basically have a pretty large halberd that is taller than them even, so you can probably expect it to be like a good 8 feet tall of a halberd. They take a long sigh and go, "All right, yeah, I might be able to look the other way on this one, but we would be normally taking you in, and you'd be spending the night in a cell while we figured out exactly what was going on. This is a long-term establishment that's been in this town for a while, and you're the only one here. I haven't seen anyone else in any armor or whatever. So they're not here. That's all that matters.
Well,
So
I stayed to help me new friend Reynolds.
That's great. I think that to make this go away, we're not just going to be able to forget this. And he's kind of looking around at some of the other guards and goes, I think 200 gold should about do it.
Cosmo looks at Balder.
Now, Grull, I'm sure you can do a little bit better than that. We are made of money, of course. We're still planning on entering the tournament. And Grull kind of just like looks down at Baldur and just kind of gives him just like basically a stare of like, hey, this is about as good of an offer as you're gonna get. And then looks over at Cosmo and goes, so how do we feel about that deal? Do we like 200 gold, or we like spending the night in a cell?
Glenn, because Baldur kind of got away from Glenn about 30, 40 feet away, just out of sight at first, is going to use the Mask of Many Faces and turn into the Silver Elf. And then he's going to cast Minor Illusion and cast a small fireball in his hand and goes, I'm glad I burned down that shitty establishment, and just take off running.
Okay. I need a performance check from you with advantage.
Right. A natural 20.
Yes!
Yes! Okay.
He's gone into the woods behind it, just gone.
Okay, roll me a stealth check too.
Okay.
No, that ones, please.
That'd be a great
19.
Okay.
30. A 30 total.
Oh my.
19 plus 11. Gotta love rogues, baby.
Oh shit, he wasn't kidding. After him. And then all of them kind of brushing past you, actually knocking you sideways, Cosmo, because you were still like on your down on your knees. They kind of knock you over in a very unceremonious manner, and Baldur kind of like starts helping you up a little bit, and then realizes that he's not in any state to be able to pull you up, and actually falls down himself, and then he's kind of like pushing himself back up on his hands and knees to get back to his feet. But you see all of them tear away around the corner. Yeah, Glenn, where are you you're going into the woods?
I'm looking at the map, and 10's where the fight happened, or the explosion happened, right? 10's what blew up?
Yeah, so no. 2 is actually so location 2 on the map, which is actually the Fighter's Pit Tavern. So yeah, you would be taking off around the corner of that, kind of into the wooded area that's encased within the walls of the city.
So he's booking it into the woods, and as fast as his elf legs are going to take him, and once he feels like he's like got like a 60-foot lead ish, he's going to cast invisibility on himself.
Okay. I'm going to save you a spell slot.
Okay.
So you're running into the woods, and you're kind of like, you run around that corner, and you see this like big kind of masonry, like probably like an outdoor oven of some sort. And you kind of like, you go around that building, and it's just like into the wooded trees. And then you see a small goblin figure, and the kind of with a silhouette of a much larger orc that's standing behind them. And you say, hey, over here. Hey.
I run to them. I go with them.
Okay. So you're able to just roll me another stealth check.
That one's not nearly as good. I rolled a 5, but still plus 11, so 16.
Okay. I'll say that you're able to, with their aiding you, I'll say that you're able to basically dip around the side, and kind of all of you just like lean against this outdoor oven as you hear Grohl and the rest of his guards go charging out into the woods after this basically ghost figure. And now you are all basically, you can hear them disappear, and kind of like you hear Grohl yelling to spread out, and they're kind of looking through the trees for this figure. But you all
I definitely would have like hung back just enough for they got like a good look at me the first time, like to truly implicate this this other elf.
Dude.
Just to be really obvious that this is the guy who did it.
No,
I don't know his name. I would have yelled. I would have yelled his name going into the woods. Like
true. Yeah,
Steve
they are.
Did it again and ran away.
No, that's wonderful. Yeah, they absolutely saw them, and so anyway, you all are as you hear them spreading out, kind of fanning out this search, and going to be. You've clearly implicated this figure. You are kind of all. You're just sitting there, kind of standing next to who you know to be Fester and Nook, the giant orc who. Yeah, the giant orc who basically bodily threw Cosmo across the bar, and Nook's the one, the goblin who burnt down the tavern. So
it's a big save because we just saved. I never mentioned them either.
Not for nothing, but that was a close one. Hey, where y'all staying tonight?
So still as big shiny silver elf boy, gonna take the mask off. So I actually am Glenn. Looks down to Nook and looks up at the big orc and just goes, we were gonna stay at, the tavern, but I don't think that's necessarily an option anymore, considering what your little spark of light you had there. But there might still be some space over at the Fit Inn if you didn't, singe that too. I didn't get a good look before it got the hell out of Dodge.
It looks like it's mostly there. Hey, where your other buddies at?
Last I saw, one was talking to the local fuzz, and I think our patron's still probably telling somebody a story about something that never happened.
Where's Rangrim?
He was
Rangrim's really banged up. He went back to the cart, so right now Rangrim's making horseshoes, like he's making horseshoes for the donkeys out of 8 of the pitons of the star metal.
Rad. That's really rad.
Giving the donkeys star metal horseshoes.
Yep.
Holy shit.
He's in a whole mood.
I'm gonna
right
rob
now.
the donkeys.
Everyone, everybody got bagged up. He just had a good good little Donnybrook in him, and he was feeling good, and he went back to the cart, and no one was there. Cosmo's being arrested. Glenn just dipped, so he was hanging out with his donkeys, and he had an idea.
Rad.
This donkey's gonna be able to fly.
I hope so, or something.
Let's hop back to Cosmo and Baldur real quick. So Cosmo, you're kind of sitting there, you're pulling yourself up off the ground, and as you are, Reynolds is kind of starting to come to. And you see him kind of like look up and see his inn or his tavern again, and kind of like
Cosmo catches him, or it's okay, it's all right.
Is this real?
Well,
this is terrible.
It is. It's real, and it is really terrible as well. But it's gonna be all right. We're gonna fix this. How long were you out?
What? Out where? Have I been out?
Well, what do you remember? Do you remember the elf throwing the fireball?
I don't remember anything. I remember getting hit. I think something hit me in the face, and then everything was kind of blurry. He's like feeling his teeth, and he's like, he's like missing a couple teeth from that shield bash, and he's like, I don't know who hit me. I don't even know what happened, but I remember I was trying to get up, and then all of a sudden it was really hot, and I don't even know. And he's like looking down at his arms, and like he's like completely singed. Like there's not a hair on the front of this half orc man.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was just enjoying a drink, and my friend Rock, he had drinking too much, went to run outside to puke, and I ran into some shiny armor fella, and then
I saw
that.
Him. Yeah, I saw that. No, yeah, you guys don't want to mess with those guys. Those are.
Well, they're the ones. He threw a fireball and made the whole place go.
I didn't know. I thought I knew all about those. I didn't think they really had that much magic. Anyway, those are the Red Striders. You guys don't want to. They're
I wasn't trying
to
mess
with them. They're like the current champions.
Well, I think I punched one of them in the face.
I think the elf's name is Peril, and then the other one. What is her name? I hit my head pretty hard here. I really need to look into what their name is.
I take notes of all the people's
Yeah.
names.
Yeah, hold on. Let me look real quick. And Janus. I think I don't really know
Janice?
what Janus. Yeah, she's yeah. Those two are always good. They had another one too. There was a dragonborn that was with them that I haven't seen, at least not today. But
Well,
anyway.
Janice is definitely the one I punched in the face. Rengrim threw up on Peril for sure. And
I think she's the one that hit me with the shield. That makes sense.
she
I
did.
appreciate you giving her the old one too.
That's yes.
So, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get them to help me pay for this bar.
Well,
these
the guards might make them pay.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm glad you guys didn't have anything to do with that. Whatever.
Well, I'm just
Hey,
glad
guys-
you're all right and you're alive. I thought you was a goner there at least twice.
I appreciate you bringing me back to the land of the living. I was gonna I'll probably have to raise rent for the inn to try to help pay for the tavern rebuild, but I can give you just the regular rate, I think.
I'm sure that regular rate will be fine, and I'm a nice fella. I'd likely be happy to help with repairs and such. I'm a pretty handy fella.
Baldur, kind of from the background, you hear him hiccuping, goes, "That's very nice of you, Reynolds. Young lad, Cosmo. Yeah, sorry, I'm losing my wits with this drink. What even was that? I think if you don't mind, Reynolds, I wouldn't mind actually hitting it's getting pretty late, and I wouldn't mind seeing if possibly there was a room that we could stay in." Reynolds is kind of like pulling himself to his feet and is kind of like unsteadily kind of making his way towards the Fit Inn and kind of like walking back that direction. Are you just following suit, Cosmo?
Well, no, actually. Would I have known that it was Glenn? I wouldn't have.
Probably. I don't think you would have known. No.
Okay.
You
Then
gonna take off around the corner after them?
no, I mean then yeah, like if I'm gonna stay as far away from that as I can. So yeah, I'll follow Baldur and Reynolds.
Okay. Sweet. So yeah, as soon as as soon as Reynolds gets within distance of like a building, he absolutely starts leaning on it to kind of move, and then Baldur, for very different reasons, starts doing the same thing, kind of walking his way steadily along the edge of the Fit Inn until they walk out into the main, basically, courtyard, which is where they basically Glyn and Fester and Nook would then see them coming, kind of walking up towards the front porch of the Fit Inn.
At that point, Glenn just kind of like looking to Fester's like, I got some questions about kind of the way you operate. The clothing towards the physique doesn't really make a lot of sense. What's your deal?
Oh, that's quite a long story. Hey, y'all wouldn't have any extra coin you could possibly. We were planning on sleeping outside the town tonight, but coin's a little bit hard to come by. I'd love to continue that conversation, but I think we'd have to do it outside of town unless you all are willing to put us up for the night. I hate to put you out.
I mean, that depends. You competing this week?
He kind of looks over at Nook, and Nook looks over at him, back to Fester, and just kind of like shrugs. He's like, yeah, we are competing. I kind of pegged you all for being a competing group as well. All of us are kind of new to this town. We're all transplants from a bunch of different places, but like I said, we can get into a little bit more of this. Worst case scenario, we can go hang out inside and we can head out of town later tonight. It's like I said, I don't want to put you all out. I know we're going to be raising sword and shield against each other soon. So it seems like maybe we'll see. I mean, have you all rolled your lot yet to see if who you're going to be fighting? Have you signed up?
We haven't signed up yet. Our patron was going to handle that one, so we're letting him handle the paperwork. We handle the heavy lifting, but we'll
cutting it close. I think the cutoff's tomorrow.
sounds like we still got a day. I'd offer to pay your way, but we're strapped cash travelers. Not a lot of people compete in these competitions if they're flush with gold. We wouldn't have a patron if we needed the help.
I
No,
think. Am I there?
understand. Yeah, you're walking up.
Okay.
I'll say that Reynolds and Baldur go inside, and you can kind of decide whether you want to follow them into the fit-in or whether you want to go over and talk to Glenn and
I'll
Fester and Nook.
walk over to Glenn.
Okay.
And I guess maybe overhearing it, we'll just say it's like, I thought we were sleeping outside tonight.
Yeah, I think we'll be sleeping out with the wolves per usual.
I think we'll probably have to pay for old Baldur over there to stay with at the inn, but it's up to us.
Yeah, I mean they're not too kind about people sleeping here in town unless you're really kind of nonchalant about it. But we have a campsite set up just outside the gates, and they're not too they never bothered us. They haven't bothered us at least within the last couple of days. So y'all are welcome to we can wagon it up and make this into a little the more the merrier, the safer it is. If you all are interested in saving the coin.
Well, I imagine a lot of this stuff around here is starting to close up for the night. Not a lot of productive towns time to be spent. So maybe we'll go collect our companion. We'll meet you out there. I imagine you can make a nice little fire for us and kind of like nudges Nook.
Yeah, that's the case already. So I don't even need to say anything. Our companion, the Aarakocra you saw earlier, she's probably already got the campsite set up. She flew back over the wall to kind of get out of here pretty quick after that. Things kind of went south. So
Aarakocras, am I right? Nudges Fester.
I guess. All right, that one went. That one flew right over my head.
Yeah, as they do. Well, we'll meet you out there, just right in front of town.
Yeah, just go out the main gate and swing a left. We're just kind of right there within the pretty much first copse trees. We're just trying to stay within. We're not looking to be too far out of sight of the guards.
We got to go collect our third. He's usually doing something really important, so got to make sure he's taken care of too. So we'll meet you out there.
They kind of just wave by and they head out kind of out the front gate and out the courtyard and out the front gate.
What are they carrying with them?
So
like items and weaponry and all that kind of stuff.
So for sure Nook has basically a staff, like a quarter staff he's using as like a straight up walking stick that has like a sphere on the end of it that has like fire in it. Like it's like a moving, living fire within that. And then that they have like some sort of wand that can do like basically ice magic. Fester, he has a rapier and a short sword on his belt, as well as like a crossbow on his back. And like I think a couple daggers strapped across his chest. Wearing ill-fitting leather armor.
Ill-fitting.
Sweet. Looks to Cosmo and Glenn says, let's go collect Rangrim. I think maybe some time spent outside of town is going to be better for us than time spent out of town tonight.
Well, I didn't want to say it in front of the other two, but that elf thing that we pissed off showed up in front of the guards and ran off, so he's don't know if they'll likely be out there still or if they got him.
Oh, what a fool to return to the scene of the crime. Only idiots would do that, right?
Right.
Just nudges him on the shoulder. Very much making it obvious that it was Glenn. Not even trying to be subtle with it, just like, it was me.
Oh.
Well, let's let things cool down. I imagine Reynolds needs some rest, and Baldur needs to sleep off all that wizard whiskey.
Definitely. Let's go get our Rangrim.
So you're able to basically Rangrim, what do they see when they show up to you, making your
Rangrim has the card going like full tilt. All the nonsense magic that could be going on with it is like full blast. There's no subtlety going on. And he is just absolutely balls deep making these like horseshoes out of that like cool metal he found, because in his head, it's going to be the best thing ever. But he had no one there to bounce that idea off of, so who knows how well it's actually working.
I mean, I think it's cool.
Yeah, Glenn just approaches and sees like smoke billowing and all the chaos. Brangham, you need a hand there? Or you got this? What are you working on?
There you are. And he's still probably pretty visibly drunk. I had an idea. All the things that we got in that metal, we got these donkeys, and like they need shoes, right? Like you have shoes, donkeys have shoes, horseshoes, donkey shoes, these shoes. And he just like holds up one crudely like horseshoe shaped piece of this dark steel that he has. We're gonna change the whole horseshoe game with this thing. It's gonna be great. Did you guys figure out the whole thing with the bar burning down yet? Or
I think economically you're gonna run into some issues with that shoe business of yours, but I like what's going through your mind. Just constantly trying to be an entrepreneur. That's smart. Change it, disrupt it. I think Cosmo's more or less off the hook. Cosmo, you probably have a better sense of
Hard to say.
that finished.
Yeah, I think we probably are off the hook with the gods, but I feel like we owe Reynolds at least a little something to help fix the inn. Or Rangram, you made a fancy bed. Can you fix this place?
oh, I could do even better. I can make him horseshoes. And he holds up two.
Well, horseshoes is good and all, but we need a place to drink our ale, and it got ruined,
Oh, that's very true.
and we have nowhere to drink our ale now.
Well, hold on then. I think Rangram concentrates for a minute. Sorry, 10 minutes.
Just goes
over like
catatonic for 10 minutes.
over like a pile of like this like smoldering lumber, and then it just bamps into existence. One
I think you broke him,
enormous
Cosmo.
like bar table with two benches that extend about 10 feet. Well, and he just sits down at it and he's like, well, now what are we gonna do about this?
Well, we need a building to put it in.
Well, I mean, we can put it there. I was making a different innuendo, and he looks at Glenn like, was that the right word I used?
Well, close enough. You had some of the letters in the right spots.
Well, that is correct.
Well, we got a table to drink at. We can show it to Reynolds and tell him we're making progress already on his little missing half a bar situation.
I mean, I can make some other tables, and we can fix the bar and like maybe some of those windows. But I mean, what he's really gonna be excited about, he's holding 4 horseshoes.
I don't think the burnt down bar is something we're gonna be able to fix tonight. I think we might need to give that one some time.
Yes.
Maybe some of the winnings from this upcoming competition, which I learned we have to sign up for tomorrow, can go towards repairing the tavern.
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, that's why we came here, right?
Right. Well, which speaking of the arena, we're supposed to meet some friends outside the gates today.
We made friends.
We did.
After all that, we have friends here.
Yep, we did.
You guys are hilarious. Let's go. The doggies will be fun.
Well, do we want to bring them?
I think we just bring them with us and set up camp like we did before. Really kind of flex the opportunity that we have.
That's a good point. They'll never see these horseshoes coming, and now he's holding all 8 of them.
I feel like every time in like the frame, his hands go down and 2 more just come.
Right.
Well, Rangram, you never cease to amaze me. And Glenn starts guiding the cart once we pack it all up.
Sweet. So I'll say that just to expedite things a little bit, I'll say that you all kind of like start heading out through this courtyard, and you kind of, as you're passing the fit in, the door is absolutely ajar, and you hear rolling snores coming out of it. There's a small table that's kind of like in the entryway, like maybe they do like a continental breakfast kind of thing down there. There's a couple like small tables, and you can absolutely just see Baldur is like leaned back against the chair and is absolutely asleep. And you can also see that Reynolds on the other side of the table. They both fell asleep waiting for you, boy.
Yes.
It's been a long day, so you just hear rolling snores. They're either very loud dead people or they're very much asleep.
I'm gonna just drop off some pillows real quick. I'll catch up with you guys
Right.
and run over real quick, drop off pillows, and I'm going to absolutely go through Baldur's pockets and see if there's anything of value in there.
Okay. Absolutely. Roll me a sleight of hand.
With advantage because he's passed the fuck out.
For sure.
For sure, 23 total.
Awesome.
There ain't shit in his pockets.
So you don't find anything, and it's like you find some just like pens and whatever else, like different like small things in his pocket, but it's nothing like you're like, this is garbage. But you do find like there's a coin purse-esque thing that's tied to his waist. That is definitely like you can feel it has some heft to it. Are you just taking that?
Can I like pry into it real quick and see if it's full of gold or if it's just full of like rocks?
For sure.
That look like he has, like, literally look like he has money.
I want to thank you so much for this because I've been wanting to do this. So you reach your hand in. I assume you reach your hand kind of into this coin purse, and you pull out. And you're like, for a second, you're like, oh, this is. You're like, oh, this is money, and then you pull it out and you realize it's not money. It is a bag full of brooches that all have Baldur's face on them.
That's the worst. I hate this guy so much. Oh my god.
Hey, I hate this guy, and I'm not even in this scene.
Glenn is going to take the pouch and empty it of the brooches, of Baldur's brooches. And he's going to leave.
Baldur the Broochful.
He's going to leave 50 gold coins in its place. So he's going to replace the brooches with actual gold.
Wow, very very kind of you. This bag is probably full of like a good 100 of these brooches. They're like small. They're probably made out of like a copper, or not like a copper bronze kind of combo. Like there's some filigree that's done in copper.
What would you say is like the weight? Like, would 50 gold make it seem like it was about equivalent?
Yeah, I'll say that they're a little
more or less.
Yeah, I think so. I think gold is heavier than the bronze copper combo. And just to kind of complete the image here, it's absolutely Baldur. Big thumb up, and it says Baldur is my patron.
Is this like cryptocurrency where it's like it might be important one day, but like right now no one's really sure if it means anything?
Yeah, you really just got to hold on to it and just kind of really just believe.
It's got a bunch of Ethereum. That's tight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
Baldurium.
Yeah, I'll leave however much gold you think would make him think that it's still the same amount of Baldur's brooches. Yeah, leave them pillows, so they're like, I put pillows on the table in front of him, I lean them forward onto it, I take all his Baldur's coins, and I leave the gold weight equivalent of it. So however much you think that is.
Sounds good. Wonderful. So you do that, and he is none the wiser. He's very much asleep, and you're able to catch back up with the cart as it's kind of rounding the corner out of the courtyard, and you all are able to, like, there's no like portcullis or anything like that that's closed. There's just a couple guards, and they kind of just, they look at you, they're like, kind of give you a questioning look, like, you guys just got here. And then as you're kind of heading back out of town, but they don't hassle you at all, and you're able to make your way around, and pretty soon you can see basically just a small little clearing, just tucked within some of the trees around on the inside or on the outside of the wall there. You can kind of see the flickering light of campfire. Is there anything you all are doing before approaching the camp?
Don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. So you all kind of pull up, and it's just there's a very kind of humble cart that you can tell is probably a little bit small for this crew, but you can see the three of them kind of sitting around this fire. Nook is like, he's just kind of you can tell that he's just like having fun doing like control flame. He seems to very much enjoy playing around fire. So he's making these like animals in it and like doing different kinds of things, like making the fire float up, like basically the equivalent of like Gandalf smoke tricks he's doing with flame.
Yeah, awesome.
While sitting around the fire. The Aarakocra seems very much entranced by that, and Fester is kind of just fully engrossed in whatever meal he's eating out of some sort of plate.
Oh, hello again, gents.
Hey, there they are. We were wondering whether or not you're going to show up. Hey, yeah, welcome. This is welcome to the campsite of the wrecking crew. You are more than welcome.
The Wrecking Crew. That is a very good name. Do you have a trademark on that yet?
What 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 is a trademark?
Yeah,
Well,
we'll
Glenn's
talk
real
about it
good
later.
at them. I think. Well, yeah, never mind.
Something we could discuss, but just think about it. Maybe getting some other people to adopt it. They can pay you for it. We'll talk about it maybe some other time.
Some
It really
is that
depends
some
on your success.
is that some sort of like sigil that you would trade away to someone else, like a trademark? Anyway, that's you are you this it's something well, like I said, me and Fester here, we're from Nuarda, so maybe it's something that you Sakalians have that we aren't familiar with, but
I think Cosmo, you've got some lineage tracing back that way, right?
Well, yes. My father was from Nuwara, where I was born there, but I came over as a wee lad. Yes.
that's yeah. So this is Nook talking, by the way. Hey, I'm from Nuada, but I'm from across the Sand Sea, so it's so way on the other side. So it's I don't really know. I'm not super familiar with the more just kind of bounced around. But Fester here is from Whisperwind Harbor, right? He just kind of nods as he's still very much engrossed in his meal.
And I don't think we properly introduced ourselves, and Glenn's gonna hold a hand out to Eric Hawkers. My name's Glenn, and you were?
My name is Kadana. It's wonderful to meet you.
Donna, nice to meet you. Saw you get out of Dodge quickly when things started to pop off. That was impressive. Normally, I'd take after the similar vein, so good to see a fellow runner.
Yeah, I don't like to stick my beak where it doesn't belong. She's wearing so again, a Kadana is a silver Aarakocra who is basically wearing like kind of leather armor, but it's kind of like cut off at like the thigh, and then is it's like a vest, and then strapped on her back she has two long swords, just kind of like, but it's like her wings are like out and like her arms and everything are exposed, but she's basically just has like this brown leather armor that's kind of like a vest with like these kind of shortcut leather pants.
That's terrifying. Yeah, nice to meet you guys. We're just gonna take some time to set up camp, and Nook, I feel like you want to tell us a little bit about yourself. Why don't you entertain us with a story while we do so?
I don't.
Well, you sure buried the lead on that invitation to the camp, but all right, well,
Nook may not want to talk about where he's from, and Fester's kind of wiping his mouth. He's like, but I'm happy to talk about. You had some questions for me on what my kind of. I see you are also of the more dexterous variety there. You said Glenn?
yeah.
Oh no, it's Rangram, man. I am very dexterous indeed, and he does like a very bad like drunken bow and like stumbles for a second. You mean this one? I think.
It's I'd normally call Rangrim the dexterous one of the group for sure, but we were chatting earlier before you got there, Rangrim. So sorry if that was a little confusing. I don't want to steal your thunder there.
I understand. No disrespect taken. I'll let this
You
one
don't often
slide.
see a lot of don't often see a lot of
He he's just
half orcs.
staring off the ground.
Sad.
Mostly like drunk
hey.
and spacey.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I have about that same amount of dexterity these days. I find myself feeling a little bit out of my element with more these days than I used to be. Used to be a much more nimble than I find myself. But I'm getting used to it, getting the hang of it again. It's working the rust off of it a little bit.
I feel like the tight leather might be a step in a positive direction if you get something a little more fitting for your frame. That's like I can see muscles that I didn't think I needed to see.
Yeah, I'm pretty afraid that if I flex too much or bend, I'm gonna rip this damn thing right off me. So that might be a good. That's actually looking to do something like that with, hopefully with these winnings. But as we're as we're all entering the tournament, I don't want to be counting my winnings just yet, but you all do look like you could, you throw a mean punch, and I've seen, looks like we could be have our work cut out for us with taking you all to town.
What is this tournament really that we're getting ourselves into? We kind of saved Baldur's ass on the way into town, and we're told of a tournament. We're not really one to shy away from a competition. I've seen this guy like fight in multiple pits and gestures to Cosmo. Like he usually just starts popping heads. Is this to the death kind of thing?
Oh, I mean, it can be. A lot of times it doesn't have to be though. As long as you can incapacitate the other team, you're good to go. But sometimes it does get a little bit out of hand. But that's generally frowned upon. To kill another player on purpose. Anyway, once you've already put them out. But yeah,
Cosmo, you can kill him.
Oh, great. Well,
I did. It is frowned upon. I did say it was frowned upon.
just watch your heads. And I mean that in the nicest competitive way possible.
Fucking yikes.
Nook lets out a pretty good laugh. That's definitely like in a condescending kind of way. And he just kind of like, you can see the flame just kind of like rotating around his hand as he's like very much like, you can see there, Nook is much more competitive seemingly than the rest of these. And as you're kind of like showing your competitive side of like kind of subtly threatening them a little bit, he's definitely like, let's fucking kind of like a let's fucking go kind of situation. But Fester kind of steps in and is like, listen, now we don't, we're going to have a no fighting kind. I think we've had no fighting for the night. And Nook, if you blow our damn camp up, we're not going to be this. That's not going to be a fun conversation we're going to have. We only have this one cart and it's barely holding together as it is. So just chill. Everyone chill.
Oh, I meant that with all jest in mind. I certainly was not trying to pick any other fights. Just.
Oh,
Yeah, we're pretty
your
tired.
Your cart needs fixing. I could fix that.
Yeah, we got a bum wheel on one of them. You got some mending on you?
Well, I mean, I said I could fix it. I didn't say I was going to. And I go to high five Glenn, and he's like probably not even close to where I'm standing.
Glenn grabs his hand for him and like does it.
Nice.
So just to expedite this, because I feel like we could just talk for
shit
a while.
Talk forever.
Are there any questions that you all want?
Multiple sessions on this.
Yeah.
No.
Who hurts whose feelings the most? Yeah. I feel like we could wait till the next day. I want to progress.
Okay. Cool.
Happy moving it along.
So I think that one question that I think does come up and is that after you're all talking with them for a while and learning where like these people are from, you find out that Nook he does hail from Sakal or from Nuarda, which is across the sea. But basically he's from a goblin like clan that he eventually he said left, but didn't seem like it was amicable. Made his way across the desert and made his way to like the more inhabited parts of Nuarda, and then eventually like hooked up with, had adventures and hooked up with Fester and made their way over here to enter the tournament. You also do find out that the tournament itself is something that is it's Sakal wide, and you basically have to go through these smaller preliminary tournaments, and then there's a main tournament that is held in Goldbreak later in the year.
Cosmo would ask, so do you have this really lame patron that follows you around too? Or is that optional and we can continue without him?
No, we have our own patron who's kind of staying up at the they're staying over at the arena tonight, but Mestel Gardre is our patron of sorts. We kind of ran into them and over in Nuarda, and they're the ones that kind of turned us on to entering this. So they're actually not even from Sakal, but they're not the worst. They're just a little bit of a blowhard, but seems like you all are have a little bit of a worse situation there when it comes to the BS that your patrons seems to be spitting. Yeah.
Can I just like make Glenn a patron, or do I have to have some other guy standing in a booth somewhere?
Yeah, they have to have some sort of nobility or have proven, some sort of merit to where they can get to a certain point of notoriety that the kind of the nobles and the elders within the arena will accept them as being someone who can represent fighters in the arena.
I own a town. Does that count?
I mean, how big is the town?
Well, I mean, have you ever heard of Tin Town?
Are you like a king of No, I haven't heard. Like I said, we're not from here, but is it like, are you like a king of it or something? You a king of the town?
Well, not really.
yeah,
I don't call myself a king.
Are you like the
That was a
Tin
great
Town
time.
tyrant or something?
Well, tyrant. Well,
What's the difference between a tyrant
I
and a
killed the
Tin
last
Town
town
Terra.
leader in a duel for it.
Sounds like a tyrant. Yeah, I mean, you might be able to enter. I don't really know. You might be able to talk to them about that. I don't really. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
Like I said, we got our patrons. Seems like you got yours. I would probably just. You only got a day to get into this thing anyway, so maybe next time around, see if you can enter
Maybe.
yourself into this thing.
I just don't want to have to travel across all of Sakal with that human.
Oh my God, you brought up a great point. We have to go to Gold Break with Baldo after this.
That was
Oh
I don't
no.
want to go. I don't want to go anywhere with it. What's your patron?
Well,
And you go your patron, Mazapan, Mazapan, paint staining.
I was totally.
it's close.
Nailed it.
It's close. Nailed it. Got it in one. Yeah. No, Mestel Cardre. He's like I said, they're fine. But they like the finer things, and honestly, they don't even hang out with us that much. They kind of just. We just kind of fight for them, and we get the gold if we win. But honestly, y'all are kind of jumping the gun a little bit because you have to win this tournament. And if you can't tell already, you got us to, even if you don't chalk us up to be much of a competition, there's other fighters in this tournament as well. And, I think
Right. So we got to win here before we can go anywhere else.
that is how it works. And I think that honestly, if you win this tournament outright, you're going straight to Gold Break anyway, so I don't think you're gonna have to travel around too much. That's at least my understanding of it. But
Right. Well. Anyways, that was.
yeah. So going into a little bit more, you find out that Kadana is from Sakal, has just kind of like born and raised here, ended up hooking up with them through Mestel Cardre later on, just to basically to enter this tournament because they didn't have enough people. So it was kind of like, it seems like Mestel Cardre has like a pool of fighters that they can pull from at any time to enter these tournaments. Fester, I'll say this is kind of later in the night. I think this is probably like potentially once like Rangrim and Cosmo have kind of, or like once it's kind of like
We're keeping watch.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
Sure.
he does let on to let you know that at some point I think he feels comfortable talking to you about this because like you are also like of the roguish kind of volition, but it lets you know that he was not always an orc. That's all he kind of says, but they were not always an orc. And that they are kind of find themselves in a situation that they're unfamiliar with their current body, but they've been kind of getting used to it over the last few years, and that they pissed off someone pretty powerful that didn't, and this is kind of their retribution for what they did. But that's about as much as he goes into it.
I was gonna say Glenn would kind of push on trying to get a name of the person that he to just kind of pick up there. He's like, so sounds like you maybe ruffled the wrong feathers, but a lot of the skill set that I have and a lot of the work I've done in the past has to do with bringing those kind of people down, or at least finding advantageous situation to maybe capitalize on. You got a name that I might be able to look into for you?
Roll me a persuasion check.
I'm so bad at those. Why can't I just sleight of hand information from him?
It's out of his brain.
Sleight of hand.
Oh, that's not a bad roll. 16. I don't think I get anything. Persuasion, 17 total.
Okay.
Might be
Now-
my best persuasion roll I've ever gotten in this campaign.
It actually might be.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, all right. And his voice kind of drops, and you all are keeping watch, and it's kind of dark and it's quiet. The fire's kind of burned low. From time to time, you see like Nook will kind of like in his sleep almost seems like kind of like move his hand, and you see the fire like kind of like flare or like do some sort of weird thing, and it kind of
Picture
catches
Nook
you all
has
off
like
guard.
night terrors. He just casts fireball things. Wow!
Reflecting beautifully off of his silken fire of Guy Fieri robes. But anyway, Fester's voice kind of drops, and he's like, all right, listen now. this is not a name I want to. This can't leave this place. I don't want to ever come back to you on me that I told you who this was, but I got on the wrong side of actually someone that's a little bit more well known here in Sakal, but they have a little bit of a reach in Nuarda as well. But they're known as the Baron, and I lost a card game, and then I couldn't pay, and I tried getting in, doing a little bit more work for them, try to just get myself in deeper. And when I came up short on that one as well, this was my punishment, and so I've been in this form ever since. And unfortunately, my whole family has it's kind of had an ill effect on all of the Fumblefoot since. So I really haven't been able to go back and face them since until I'm able to get this whole situation kind of figured out. So.
Yeah, obviously, quietly. I find myself in a similar situation. Is there, a term limit on this form that you're in, or is this kind of a for life thing as far as you understand, or until you pay that debt?
Yeah, as far as I know, it's just kind of until this corporeal form I'm in expires, and I take that big long step into the astral plane, as far as I know. But I don't really know when it comes to the kind of the bad luck that's befallen the rest of my family. As far as I know, there's only one of them left, so I don't really know if there's much more to say there. They kind of, shortly after I was cursed with this form, they just kind of having misfortunes, things happening to them, things falling on them, having just bad luck streak that wiped most of my family out within a matter of years.
Sorry to hear that. Put my family in similar situations in the past, so I understand. But yeah, we have a loose affiliation with the Baron ourselves, and I'll do my best to see if I can't maybe lighten some of that time on your sentence. Hopefully, when we finish up what we need to take care of with the Baron. I've never met them before. You got any information on them? Anything you want to share? Or I understand that name carries a lot of weight and trees have ears and all that.
I haven't met them. I haven't met them personally. It was I was only secondhand that I even found out that it was actually that's where the curse came from. It just kind of happened. I went to sleep one night and I woke up this way, and found out later through kind of a messenger of the Baron that that this was my punishment and my penance to pay for my failures.
Sorry to hear that. And you said you had one more family member out there. It was a Fumblefoot, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I have a nephew somewhere, as far as I know. At least they haven't come up. I haven't seen their tombstone yet, so that's as far as I know. I got a nephew out there somewhere.
I think I might have met them. They're doing all right.
It's really it's great to hear. I don't want to push you too much harder, but got a question for you. You know a lot about me. Where can you tell me just a little bit about where you're from? What's going on? Just you from Sakal? You from somewhere else? Just give me the elevator pitch here about Glenn.
Yeah, similar situation to yourself with the Baron. I pissed off the wrong people where I'm from, just across a different ocean. Had to make myself scarce there and kind of left everything behind. So I don't really know what I left, how family's doing, how friends are doing. Hasn't followed me over here yet that I know of. Be real appreciative if you didn't necessarily use my name around town, same way that I don't plan on using Fester Fumblefoot around. So if we can kind of keep that to us in the campfire, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome to use Fester. That's not my real name. So, but yeah, don't throw the Fumblefoot name around. It's honestly, I probably wouldn't even say it. You don't want to bring that curse on yourself, just in case that's kind of, I don't know how it spreads, so I wouldn't want to bring that on you. But yeah, no, it's real good to meet you. I like to, it's not often I meet someone else who I'm able to, share my situation with, and seems like we have some things in common. So it's great to, well met.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm going to have to take all your money tomorrow on these coming days.
So I think that's a great, with that kind of, he's kind of laughing, and you all continue your watch. I'm not going to make you all roll for it, but I assume at some point Glenn does take a long rest.
Hell yes.
So Whether or
Hell
not
yeah.
it's from like the fact that like you've probably, I don't think Glenn thinks about his like where you came from that often, or where like the kind of the history. I don't know how much that
Been a
haunts you.
long
Like,
time, yeah.
so I know that like especially being an elf, like you know, high elf, like you're a longer lived race, so like your past is farther even away from you from when it comes to physical years than most. But I think you do dream tonight. I think you, even in your like waking trance sleep, and one of the things that comes back to you is this interaction with when you were younger, much younger, probably like elven years, probably like like in your maybe 50 years old or something like that. Like but you're sparring with like a friend of yours, someone that you kind of like had a fun rivalry with, and like it was one of the times like that she was able to kind of like you're sparring in your kind of like hometown, this place in Zephyr, this continent far away that like you haven't seen, you haven't thought about in a while, since you've been kind of on the road. You kind of kept it at a distance, even mentally, just in case like people like are trying to like, you know, look into your mind or whatever. You've taught yourself to keep that kind of secluded within yourself. But this memory kind of comes up, and you're kind of seeing yourself, and you're reliving this moment where like you all are sparring, and like she gets the better of you, and like I think that's like the part that you remember is kind of just her like sweeping your legs out from under you, something that's very similar to what Chandrell has done in the past. This is much further before like Chandrell ever paid you any mind, anything like that. And the two of you were just competing for this like idea, this thought of like this patron ancestor of Chandrell, trying to make them happy. Both of you competing for that in this kind of like fun way. And she sweeps your legs out from underneath you, and you fall on the ground. And she reaches her hand out to kind of lift you up and goes, "Well, you're never gonna beat me doing that." And then I think that's kind of like where the dream, like where then you kind of wake up from your trance and you've had your full rest. But yeah, so you all kind of wake up, and it is the morning. Is there anything anyone wants to do in preparation for before like going about the day to like try to get some shit done here in Rockdale?
Let's get some shit done.
Well, when we wake up, are they still there?
Yeah,
Or are they gone?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that they're all there. They're kind of packing up everything and just preparing for the day. You can see I think that Fester's probably practicing some he's doing some slow like kind of like pairing maneuvers, like swashbuckling-esque maneuvers.
Really laboring, yeah.
Yeah, really laboring, trying to like make sure he doesn't rip his jerkin that he's wearing. And then Nook is like absolutely not. He's just kind of like fucking around with stuff, but not really like doesn't seem like he's trying that hard. And then you can actually see that kind of up overhead, you can actually see that Kadana is actually flying.
Okay. Looks over to the group, looks over to the wrecking crew and says, "You guys, know about many of the shops in town. Before we got to sign up, I imagine we got to stock up on supplies. It's been a good amount of travel. You got any recommendations around town?"
Yeah, well, what are you looking for?
Everything from your everyday supplies to something that might, take out a couple competitors who got too friendly the night before to, some with a little bit of a bang.
That is extremely vague. There's if you're looking for there's enchanters, there's places you can buy poisons, there's tons of stuff. There's the bazaar, they got a bunch of crazy stuff there. I'm good to go. From what I've heard, if I was going to go anywhere, Jagat has some pretty good stuff in stock right now. So I know that there was some stuff that Kadana was interested in. Once we hopefully get some coin after this.
Jagat, I think that's the move. All right, thank you. And kind of packs up and starts closing up the shop /
Nice
cart that we have.
Fester kind of walks over and goes, "Well, before you all head anywhere too far, I probably would get signed up, or at least find that patron of yours and drag him over there, because they're probably going to be, they're going to be pulling lots pretty soon here to see who's going to be fighting who, and you want to make sure you get in there before that happens."
We'll make sure Baldur does that for us as our patron as he is, and we'll head around town and find some shenanigans.
Rangrim, are you enchanting your shield today?
Indeed.
Okay.
And while I'm doing it, and for absolutely no reason, I normally never chant while I'm imbuing my shield, but in this morning specifically, I am shouting as loud as I possibly can. I'm even casting thaumaturgy to make my voice louder, and I'm speaking in deep speech
Okay. Doing
just
what?
to make it extra weird for the rest of the guys listening.
Roll me an intimidation
Like-
check with it. Yeah, just roll me an intimidation check. I think it's great.
As he's like screaming in deep speech.
Well,
Glenn's-
that is a 2.
Okay.
And I have a +2 to that, so it's a 4.
Okay.
So
Uh,
I'm just speaking in tongues, and they're not concerned at all.
your friend's kind of all right.
As that's happening, Glenn's like, okay, so you said it's just left at the okay.
Yeah, you just gotta go around.
Is it the hook?
You
Okay.
gotta go around it. Yeah, over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Great. Anyone else doing anything, or are you heading back into town?
Yeah,
go in town.
I got nothing.
Okay. All right. Let's teleport y'all. Let's get you quickly to you all are pulling up to the front of the Fit Inn, and you can see that Baldur is kind of sitting out front, just like on a very like dainty
Hungover
little
shit.
just a dainty little chair, and is sitting outside, legs crossed, and is drinking tea.
Walk up to Baldur. It's like, well, Baldur, I think we need to get signed up today, right? I think that's what Cosmos know what they were saying.
Yes, that's what we need to do. Can you do that for us?
Of course. I just one quick. I have this. I just poured this tea. I just wait about 30 minutes to an hour. I'll be ready to go anytime soon. They'll wait for us. Of course. They generally would cut it off in the next hour or so, but they'll wait for Baldur the Bountiful. There's no rush at all.
Oh, that's
Alright.
crazy. And Glenn swats the tea out of his hand. Just walks up like you're done with the tea.
Okay.
You're gonna make an attack roll.
That's definitely not the Cosmo way, but
He kind of just looks down at the shattered teacup, and then just goes, "I guess we can go then."
Oh no, hold on, it's fine.
What?
Bringham's gonna use mending to fix the teacup, then hand it to him,
it's an empty cup, Rain Grim.
and then he's gonna smash it again. Really
Okay.
put an exclamation point on that whole.
I'm fairly certain that was Reynolds' mother's china, but I
Reynolds is the big bad, confirmed.
Let's just confirm.
we should go, and he's kind of just like scooting it underneath the porch with his foot, kind of like
we'll get him
kicking
a
it in
new
the
one.
dirt.
We'll get him a new mom. It's fine. Let's go. We got to go get registered.
Okay. So you all kind of hurry Baldur into the cart and make your way down the center of town. And so like as you're getting closer to this arena, you are noticing just how large scale it is. This thing, I think before I said it was 2 stories tall. This thing is much larger than that. I would say it's probably a good like 4 to 5 stories tall. Like think Colosseum-esque in scale. Like it's very, very large. Like this thing has and it kind of as you're getting closer to it, you're seeing that like the sheer amount of wealth in these buildings that are kind of like lining this inner ring of Rockdale, like you can tell there's like a discrepancy in the amount of like wealth, and like these aren't shops, these are like homes of people who probably profit in some way off of the fighting. But yeah, so you make your way towards the main front doors, and basically this thing is like a gleaming like white marble. And as you're approaching it, you're kind of seeing that there is like this. Actually, roll me perception checks, all of you.
Oof, terrible.
Perception
take-
check. Sorry.
I can
That's
take your
really-
passive if you want me to.
Yeah,
Ranger.
do the passive.
I'll just do my
Okay.
passive.
Me
Okay.
too.
Okay, so
Me too.
you all are heading in, and what you notice is that kind of like in the main thoroughfare, like as you're kind of entering towards the front of this building, you're noticing that there is like a large statue depicting three figures, and they're you can see that like they are basically, it's like a kind of a fountain-esque statue kind of form, and there is a form of a a tiefling who is like is carrying like a very large like staff that has like these like bent and like kind of gnarled branches coming off the end of it, and they're kind of like the one in the center, and they're pointing it straight up. And then you can see that there are two other figures, one of which is like it's a dwarf, but they're wearing like this this kind of like these massive pauldrons that come kind of straight out, and they have this helmet on that's coming like down almost too far. They're just wearing like massive like armor, but this is all like depicted in stone. And they have like these this flail that's kind of like depicted like halfway spinning around. And then there is another figure which is like this taller humanoid with this like long flowing hair and like braided beard that is just like wielding this like massive two-handed battle axe. But this is like this statue that you're seeing. The thing that you notice, Rangram, as you're kind of like walking, because all of you see this like monstrous kind of fountain statue in front of this arena. The one thing that you see, Rangram, is kind of like off to the side, there's this weird gated off area. If anyone's seen like GoldenEye or like even the fall of like the Soviet Union, when there was just like these like overgrown areas of like statues and like abandoned kind of like depictions of figures and whatever else. Like there's basically this graveyard of statues that are like half buried and broken. It's just kind of like off to the side, kind of not showcased in any way, shape, or form. It's just kind of like, imagine like a junkyard, but full of like broken and half buried statues, as if like they're very unceremoniously been kind of tossed off to the side. In a similar way, like is similar in construction and style to the ones that are like depicted currently in the center of this arena, or in the center of this kind of like courtyard leading up to the arena. But passing by this, you all enter into the open front door and come across a pretty fun sight. So you enter into this like big open doorway that like is probably like stretching 15, 20 feet up into the air, just extremely ornate, everything out of this like gleaming white marble that's just like reflecting off of the morning sun. And you come into a room which you can tell is just like any other arena, is kind of built in a cylindrical fashion, where it kind of like probably continues around the arena. And then you can see staircases going up into seats further up. But in the middle of this very ornate marble space, there is a single solitary desk that is far too small for what you would recognize to be a troll, who is sitting very hunched over behind it. Who you assume to be gendered as female, but they have two like kind of, they have red hair and kind of have like, which you can probably tell is probably a wig, but it's red hair that is braided and is coming down into pigtails on either side. And they are hunched over this desk, and they seem to be writing feverishly. And then next to them, to the side, you see a very odd sight, which looks like it's like a prize wheel, but there's a little arrow on it, and you can see that there are 4 quadrants. One is red, one is blue, one is green, and one is black, and it seems like it can be spun. But aside from that, this is what you see when you walk into this big, giant open space. You see this troll sitting behind a desk.
Is anyone approaching the troll? Are there any other contesting
No one
groups?
here.
Okay.
There's literally no one in this empty room.
It's just us, this troll, this wheel, and okay.
The echoing footsteps of you walking in.
Is Balder there? Did he? He
Yeah, he
did
came
come,
with
right?
us.
Okay. Well, Balder, is that who we see about fighting in this thing?
Oh yeah, yes, of course. That's the arena receptionist. She'll be able to help us get entered into the. What are we waiting for?
Right. Well, I think this is where you get to shine, right?
I'm Baldur the Bountiful. I'm constantly shining.
Isn't this like the entire reason that like we have to come here with you?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Can
you just do the thing?
Baldur puffs out his chest and struts, much like just kind of like absolutely struts across the floor. His kind of like high-heeled boots clicking as he's kind of strutting across the room, and the troll kind of seems to take notice of Baldur and is kind of looking at him, watching him kind of walk up to the desk, and is looking down at him.
Glenn's following pretty closely behind.
Yeah, Cosmo
like
is
5 feet behind.
Yeah.
Ramgrim's gonna burn a spell slot and cast Sending, and I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I'm gonna cast Sending, and if I can, I also want to use Thaumaturgy to make it not my voice in Baldur's head and just go, "They know you're lying."
Roll me a deception check with advantage.
Gonna have a mental break during
Oh.
the conversation.
Oh my god. We still need to get into this tournament.
I'm sorry, what did you say? Deception with advantage?
Yeah.
15.
Okay. That's actually pretty good. So you see Baldur kind of like stop and stiffen, and just like his eyes go wide, and he's just staring up and around now. The troll kind of like puts her hands on the desk and leans over and looks at him, which is, I mean, her head is probably larger than Baldur in general. And then you, as they kind of like look over the desk, you can't really discern their facial expression, and then their mouth spreads into a really wide, toothy smile, and they go, "Oh, well, hello there. Are you all entering the tournament today?"
That's not how I expected.
That's not what I was expecting. Yeah.
But yes, we are. And this
Oh, well,
here,
you're just so you're just so adorable, aren't you? You're just you're just a bunch of like strong fighters, aren't you?
This is not where I
Oh my
expected
God.
this one coming from.
It's nice to meet you. What was your name again? Pretty
Oh,
lady.
that's just so kind of you. My name's Kosha.
Nice to meet you, Kosha. I think Baldur's gonna sign us up.
yes, he is our patron for us in the tournament.
Well, of course I know old Baldur here, but he seems to be having some sort of a mental breakdown currently. So I can just take. I mean, I just needed him to see him here if he's going to be representing you all. I just can take all your information and get you all entered into the tournament now here.
Of course he's representing us. Honest and true, this Baldur, right? And Rangram pats him on the back.
Baldur seems catatonic.
I don't know what's wrong with him.
Before we sign up, can you? Sorry, go ahead, Rangram.
No. He's better at the talking and what I got, anyways.
Before we sign up, can you explain the large color wheel next to you? What all that means?
Oh, well, of course I'd be more than happy to. This right here is, well, you know where you find yourselves, right? This is the Primal Arena, the Rockdale Primal Arena. Every one of the arenas have their own kind of, unique characteristics. And so ours is, what you get to do is, it's a real fun kind of game you get to play here. When you enter in and you get your lot, you get to spin this wheel and see what kind of arena you're going to be fighting on.
So the colors coincide to a certain type of arena. What are the arenas?
Well, that
Isn't
would be
this
no
the
fun.
arena?
Well, that'd be no fun if I were to tell you that. But no, this is it's just, you got 4 options for different kinds of play. Some kind of arena field, some kind of terrain that you'll be fighting on.
It was red, green, blue, and black.
Yes.
Well,
That's terrifying.
well then, let's get. What do you need from me so we can get signed up so I can squish some heads?
Well, I'll just take down all your information here, and I'm going to just say that you all. Do you want to? What kind of names do you all want to give? Do you want to give your fake names or your real names?
Fake names, 100%.
Okay. So I will say that are we on board? We got Rock and Dale going into this.
Yep.
Cool.
Bob.
Well, that's just that's the biggest coinkydink right there, don't we have with the name to Rockdale? That's a real chuckle buster right there. Okay, well, they take your all your information and goes, well, let me see. So let's get you all spun up on the wheel there. Who's gonna be doing who's the lucky one that gets to spin today?
Thank you.
Well, I would never. This is for the fun for you all to do.
Rangram turns to look at Glenn and goes, "What in the hell is a coinky-dink? You never told me about these kind of words." And I'm going to give Glenn guidance. First,
Be honest with you, I've never met a troll that didn't try to eat me immediately, so this is all sorts of confusing for me too. I guess, Kosha, I'll be the one spinning the wheel, and I walk up to the wheel.
Yep, she kind of like single hand with one hand kind of reaches back with between 2 fingers, kind of like lifts it and puts it on the desk in front of you. Yep, exactly. Well, best of luck there. And I need you to roll me a d4.
Oh God, I'm so scared. I am going to. I don't even know what these mean, but Glenn would do this anyways because he thinks that for whatever reason, green's going to be the better one. I'm going to use my mage hand, turn it invisible, and try to influence the
Yes.
wheel to land on green as
Okay.
subtly as possible.
Okay. Roll me a sleight of hand.
Okay.
I did also just give him guidance as
And
well.
yes.
I appreciate.
What is that again?
It's
It's D4.
D4.
before he rolls.
What'd you say, Cosmo? You cheer me on?
No. I was hoping you'd find a way to use that guidance.
19 total on the rolls plus you said sleight of hand, so a
Yeah.
30.
Okay. I think that what happens is you're able to turn your mage hand invisible. You got the perfect combination of skills here to be able to pull this thing off. So you turn this
Go
thing
for
invisible, and
black.
I think you
No.
just kind of like, the mage hand kind of like, if they could see it, just think,
Yeah.
it slows it down just enough where it kind of, without any kind of seeming too obvious, is able to slow it down, and it clicks onto green.
I don't know why
and-
I think green's good. I have zero reason to think that.
I can find a terrible idea for every color. So,
Green,
Same here.
green is lava.
Yeah, green is just a vat of poison that you have to
right?
drink.
Like,
Kosha just starts clapping, like probably scares you a little bit because like just immediately like, oh well, this is just the best right here. Well, you're just the luckiest ones. You're actually going to get to have a kind of a bye week, I guess, a little bit, but you're one of the lucky ones that gets to we can't have you doing nothing for your preliminary rounds. Of course, you're gonna be fighting the Primal Guardian, but aside from that, you don't have to fight a team right off the bat. So as long as you get past the Primal Guardian, you'll be able to go on to the final round against the whoever wins in the other bout.
I say this with all due respect. What the fuck's a Primal Guardian?
Almost second him. What he said.
The Kosha kind of pulls up like a little one of those like pads that's like an easel with like a piece of paper on it, and it has like the most gaudy the most like gaudy kind of like coming soon kind of thing, and it just has like this silhouette of this like this it looks like some sort of creature, and it says like now showing the Primal Guardian at the Primal Arena. So roll me nature checks, all of you.
Oh, tight.
Whether or not you recognize what
I
the
rolled
silhouette
a
is.
2
come on.
for a total of
Oh,
5. But
a gentleman 16.
Okay.
All right, nature check. All right, just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go ahead and use my luck medallion because
Okay.
somebody in this group needs to roll
Higher
somewhere
than a-
decent.
Well, the rain group got a 16. That's pretty good.
I know, but I'm,
Hey,
Perfect.
you're feeling lucky. Feeling
I-
lucky, punk.
I do. Oh, it's a +0, but it's an 18.
Okay. All right. I probably, I think I'll give you a little bit more for the 18. But so, okay. One thing you do notice right off the bat is that this featuring the Primal Guardian poster that is showcased on this little easel. The background has the 4 quadrant colors as well. One thing you do notice is it seems like it has this like long body, this kind of like long, bulky body with like a couple legs down on the ground. But you also notice that like, you don't know whether they're tails or whether they're something else, but there's like 5 kind of like, or 4 like seemingly like things that are coming up from where you would expect a head to be. But it seems like this like bulkier body with a couple legs coming off and potentially like, 4 tails or heads or something like that coming off of the body. It's a kind of confusing form.
correct. That is
Can
correct.
confirm.
That is very,
Still-
very correct.
Gave a
am
description.
confused.
Still know just about nothing about it.
But yeah, I mean, you all are you're all entered into the tournament. There's nothing really else I can help you with today, unless there's you got any questions or anything else you'd like to know. I of course can't tell you much more about the Primal Guardian. I don't want to ruin all the fun for you, but you can also you're going to be able to watch the bout. After you all hopefully survived your bout with the Primal Guardian, you'll be able to watch the rest of the bout as well to see who you'll be fighting in the next round.
Are we going first?
You're going to be going first, you lucky ducks.
Perfect. That's what I
It
like.
freaks me out.
I guess I best be getting out to enjoy the town before it's too late. Then.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, well,
any recommendations for some of your best pit fighters to maybe go purchase some items that might help us? Any recommendations? We heard Jaggert's was pretty great.
oh yeah, Jargots is he's just a real sweetie right there. I would definitely stop by Jargots. He's got some real good stuff. You can always find some good stuff over at the bazaar as well. It's a little bit stranger, of course. Just kind of a little play, kind of a fun play on the name there. You'll get to enjoy that. But I would, I maybe would, I don't. It seems like you're into some other stuff, but the Molten Hilt Forge, of course, if you're looking for something to stab or poke with or slash with, of course.
Well, Kosha, you've been an absolute gem. I could not be more entranced by you. So we're gonna go ahead and I think go get some shopping done.
Okay, well, yeah, I would maybe splash some water on Baldur there. He doesn't seem to be feeling himself.
When was the last time Baldur won this event, or his champions won this event?
Oh well, that's not really a nice story. I don't really like to spread to tell that I think that's something that old Baldur can tell you if he
Well-
really wants to. But I will say that old Baldur here was someone he has won in the past. He was one of the previous champions, him and his group. But I don't want to give all of his story away, and so I'll let him tell you that. And Baldur, you can actually see this kind of like wakes him from his catatonic state a little bit.
Getting to brag woke
Getting to tell
Baldur
a story
so
naturally.
Uh, actually, to quite the opposite. You can see that a pretty kind of like somber look spreads across Baldur's face, and he just. Well, I think we've done about everything we need to. If you all don't mind, I'm gonna go back to the inn and spend the day there. I got some things to take care of while I still have time. I'll meet you all back there after you're done exploring the town, if that's all right.
That sounds great. Go get yourself a nice cup of tea, I guess, then.
I think there's still half a bottle of wizard whiskey somewhere in all that rubble if you want to drink that again.
Don't recommend it.
I will likely never touch that again in my entire life.
As he's walking away, he's like, not to your knowledge.
Awesome. So I'll say that you all kind of split up right there out front by that kind of statue fountain.
Perfect. Quickly, do I see Baldur in any of those graveyards of statue graveyard? Do I see a Baldur among those statues?
Roll me a perception check or an investigation, either one. I think they're the same.
Ooh, nat 20.
Wow.
Not the best time to get a 20, but I'll take it. Investigation, yeah, they're the same for me. So 26 total.
Awesome. You see, you kind of walk over to this like statue graveyard that's kind of lining around the edge of, I kind of picture it as there's like a grass area that's kind of like surrounding the perimeter of the kind of arena coliseum. And these things are kind of like stuck in the ground and like, it's kind of cordoned off, but it goes around, but there's like in this grassy area, these are kind of like non-ritualistically kind of stuck around. You kind of walk around this thing and you're kind of looking for one that could be similar to Baldur. And I think one, especially with 20, I think one catches your eye. You see this trio of three. It's set up in a similar way to the ones that are currently on the fountain. And you see this proud gnome with this like kind of like coiffed of hair, very similar, like very different from what you see Baldur with today, who has kind of like the Fire Tuck-esque bald spot on his head. This kind of like proud coif of hair, and they're like holding up this sword. They're in the central position instead of the tiefling, which is currently on the fountain now. But they're holding up this like sword that is like, you're like, wow, that person like would have to be really strong to hold up this like extremely large sword with one hand for what like, and you can see like this figure, like they are like just fucking shreddy spaghetti, like 100% Baldur. If this is Baldur, like they are like a very different physique than they currently are today. But one thing you notice is that the figures next to them are like completely destroyed. Like they are broken apart, and like you can barely tell like whether or not, like, even if they seem to be like more normal height compared to Baldur, but their visages are like broken and have like fallen apart. But so basically you just see this like kind of this gnome, this strong gnome figure holding this like massive great sword up above their head, and then the figures behind them are just broken apart. And I think it's at like a 45-degree angle, stuck in the ground.
Is it like they look like they were intentionally destroyed? They like got destroyed by time.
I think that you would know from like, you can tell that these things were purposefully broken apart. Like they have been hammered apart so that they are non-recognizable.
Huh.
But yeah, that's kind of what you see. So are you all heading over to Jargots?
Is that where I want to go? Yes.
The enchanter.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
Yeah,
where I
follow
want
the
to
gang.
go.
Awesome. So you all kind of head down you head like after kind of like talking to a couple people that are like that seem to be pushing carts, like just general townsfolk, like trying to get directions to where Jargott's Jinx is. You kind of like you're weaving your way through, and you find out it's kind of like in this smaller building tucked away on the outside of town, and you're kind of picking your way through these kind of more back alley areas of what is like a pretty bustling and pretty like built up city of, or like large town, small city of Rockdale. And it's along one of these streets that you kind of come around a corner, and you're all kind of I think taken aback by the fact that you immediately like maybe another 30 feet down the stretch in the direction that you're all heading, you see who you now know to be that elf that you know to be called Peril, alongside of Janus and Glyn. You also see a blue dragonborn that's standing next to them. And as you're walking up, they're standing in front of you, like, or you kind of come around this corner. You see that they're standing in front of this very old lady who's sitting on the ground, and she has like these cards out in front of her, and like you can see bones and these like different things, and like laid out on this kind of like ornate blanket cloth in front of her, and she's kind of sitting cross-legged on the ground, and she's holding up this kind of like these bones and showing them to Peril, like with this kind of like trembling hand. And you see him reach down and smack these bones out of her hand across the ground and goes, "That is not my future." And like you can see him kind of like taking his foot and kind of kicking all of her stuff across the ground. What are you all doing?
Well, that's a dick move, friend.
Nailed it right on the head.
You see this lady who kind of like as she's like trying to like get the items that were kicked across the ground, she kind of like falls over. She's trying to like reach and grab them before they get too far away. She kind of overbalances and falls over. And
Glenn's like helping pick stuff up with like Mage Hand on the far side, and like picking the stuff up on the near side, like helping her collect her things so she's not falling out of her chair.
You see Peril basically, as you're kind of getting closer, goes to pull his weapon off his back, goes, "I guess that we're going to pick up where we left off, and that's where we're going to leave the session tonight."
Oh, he's so dead. He's not going to make it to the pit.
He's not getting a no arena.
Yeah.
Dude,
Does this town
Dying.
frown on murder?